Luna, having my morning coffee. Cheers. I finished this picture, so I'll give you a look at that. There are some pictures on my blog about it, so if you want to go there and have a closer look. So my picture is, well, it's a simple landscape. Fields, green, flowers, sky. I've got two boards here, small one, big one, sealed at the back. And there you go. All done. I say all done. I've got to put some wire across to hang it. So there you go. That's all done now. Moving on to the next project. Right, I did say that I've got some stories to tell about the walking trips, the long walking trips. So I've been racking my brains trying to remember little bits and bobs. And yeah, when you're walking alone, there's always somebody to talk to. In fact, when you're travelling alone, there's always somebody to talk to. A lot of people say they wouldn't do anything on their own by themselves as a single person. Well, I say if you don't, you're missing out, because it can be quite exciting. And so what happened to me while I was doing these walks, I think I did about eight or nine walks, long walks. Longest was 162 miles. Shortest one was 119 miles. Most of them were around about 140, 150. But yeah, so things happen when you're out and about on your own. Now, I remember going towards Buxton, coming across Derbyshire, and time was getting on in the afternoon, and I thought I really need to find a bed. I did get into a village and asked somebody there, and they said, oh yeah, there's a pub, just about a mile down the road, there's a pub. So I went to the pub, and they did indeed have rooms, but they didn't have any vacancies. And by this time, it was gone 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock maybe, started to get dark. And I thought, oh, crikey, what do I do now? So then I thought, right, I do have to go to Buxton, which was around about another 2 miles away, but it was getting dark. And the easiest way would to be off-road on tracks, footpaths. But I couldn't risk that in the dark. So, and I couldn't risk it on the road either, because of the traffic. So I said, could I use your phone, please? And so I rang a taxi to come and pick me up and take me into Buxton. Now, normally wouldn't do that, but it was really important that I do find somewhere. Anyway, taxi driver came, took me into Buxton, and I think he sort of felt a little bit concerned about my safety. So he insisted on driving me around to various places, B&Bs, hotels, etc. Buxton is a touristy place. So I kept getting out and going to check in with reception, any vacancies. Some of them said, no, we've no vacancies. It was a tourist season, so they were busy. Some of them did have vacancies, but they wanted a large amount of money. I wasn't prepared to pay that much. When I say large amount, I mean, this is going back a few years ago. It was just under £100. But anyway, I kept getting back into the taxi again, and I said, no, not that one, that's no good. Anyway, I said, just drop me in the high street, I'll just go in pubs and ask there. But anyway, then I said to the taxi driver, I said, you don't happen to have any spare rooms in your house, do you? And he says, funny you should say that, we do. So anyway, he rang through to his wife, And she said, yeah, bring her here. So I went home with the taxi driver. And it was lovely. They made me ever so welcome. I sat in their lounge. They'd got a spare room, able to use the bathroom. She got me some food, and I sat there with a glass of wine, and I thought, this is brilliant. It was really, really nice. And I did pay them, but not as much as a hotel. And the next morning, he took me back to where he picked me up at the village pub it was. So yes, I don't like to break a walk up like that, but I had to then. But I set off, off I went. So, Ilkley Moor, I was coming across Ilkley Moor one day, and it seemed to be, it's very high up, and it's very overgrown, trees, shrubs and everything. You've heard the song Ilkley Moor Bartat. So I was coming across Ilkley Moor, and I did ask somebody, another walker I think, I said, I'm going to need to find somewhere to sleep. Any suggestions? So they said, oh yeah, when you get off the path you come onto a main road, and then just up the hill there's a hotel. And I thought, right, well it'll have to be that, because my feet were aching and my blisters were quite sore. So I went up to this hotel. It was rather a posh hotel. I asked at reception, yes, we've got a room. Told me how much it would be, and I thought, well, I'm just going to have to pay it because I can't walk any further. So I couldn't afford to actually eat in the hotel. So, and my room was right up the top in the roof. And I thought, right, I need to go out and buy some food. I said, is there a supermarket anywhere? So the reception man, he says, yeah, down the hill, there's a big supermarket there. And I thought, right, we'll go for that. Walk down the hill, in the supermarket, pick up a bag of food, snacky food. And then I thought, oh, I can't possibly walk back up that hotel, that road up to the hotel. So I stood at the bottom of the hill. I thought, stick your thumb up, get a lift. So that's what I did. I'm standing there and several cars passed me and one stopped. And I thought, oh, somebody's give me a lift. So before he could say anything, I opened the passenger door and jumped in. And then I told him, I says, oh, can you drop me at the hotel up the hill? And he says, yeah. He says, but you'll have to pay me. And I said, what? Pay me? No. I says, no, I can't do that. I've got no money. Let me get out. And then he says, well, I am a taxi. And then he pulled up a taxi. Anyway, he was very kind, and I could see on his little screen that his pickup was at that hotel. So I said, just stop before the hotel, and so nobody can see me getting out. So yeah, taxi driver took me to my bed for the night. Easingwold, I couldn't find a bed in Easingwold, North Yorkshire. So what I had to do there was to get a bus into York and go to the youth hostel there. So that was a bit annoying really, because it just added extra miles on the journey, but it was a pretty good bus service anyway. So the next morning after breakfast I got the bus back to Easingwold to start again. I wanted to stop overnight once in a hostel in Derbyshire, because there's not many places up in the hills, you know, and I used to do a lot of youth hosteling, but not so much lately. But I got to the hostel and I thought, oh, thank goodness there's a hostel. But when I got there, I found that it was fully booked for a private party. And there was loads and loads of people in there, but it was private. So I thought, oh, surely they could squeeze me in somewhere. I don't mind sleeping in a broom cupboard, actually. But no, I had to carry on, even though my legs were tired my feet were hurting. Yeah, I got to, on one of my walks, I got to Barnsley bus station. I thought, I need to go to the toilet, so I'll go into the centre, go to the toilet. And in the bus station, I saw that there was a bus standing there with the thing Doncaster on the top. And I thought, do you know, if that bus is still there when I come out of the toilet, I'm going to get on it. So that's what I did. I got the bus to Doncaster because I could see from there on back to Scunthorpe it was going to be quite difficult to find a bed for the night. So I came into Doncaster and then had to get the train back to Scunthorpe. Bakewell, Derbyshire. I do like walking through Derbyshire. But I'd had a day of torrential rain, and it's not very pleasant trekking miles after mile in rain. And anyway, I did find a B&B with some difficulty because Bakewell's a tourist town. And anyway, I got in a B&B. And I thought, right, if it's still raining in the morning, I'm just going home. I was rather hoping that the rain would stop so I could carry on the walk. But no, it was raining in the morning. So I thought, I've got my bus pass. I'm just going home on the bus. There was a place up in Yorkshire, and I can't remember where exactly. I was walking along country minor roads, quiet roads, up in the Boroughbridge area, and I've been walking for a long time, and there was just nothing, nowhere to stop overnight. So I come across a pub, and I thought, oh, well, I hope they've got a bed. So I went in there, and the landlady says, oh yeah, we've got some chalets out the back. She says there's a free one there. Oh, thank goodness for that. Anyway, I've been walking a long time. Cheers, have you got a drink? I've been walking a long time, my legs was aching and I was tired. So I ordered myself a pint of beer and she made me a sandwich as well. So I'm sat in the pub there. There's only me and the two of them in there because they weren't busy. And all of a sudden I felt quite ill. I felt I was going to faint, and I nearly did faint. And I'm not sure what caused it, but I sort of sat there and I almost keeled over, but I managed to not stop myself. And I said, I feel really faint, I'm going to faint. So the landlady was quite concerned. Oh dear, what? Oh dear. So she says, well, what we'll do is I'll call for a medic for you. And I thought, I don't really need one, but okay, if you want to, yeah. I mean, she probably didn't want me to die in her pub. Anyway, so I did start feeling better, actually, 10 minutes later. But anyway, I couldn't manage my pint. I only drank half of it, and I did eat the sandwich. But an ambulance came with two medical people, ladies, and they put me through all of the tests, questions. They have questions, forms, tick boxes, wanted to know all about me, my health and everything. And then they couldn't really find anything wrong with me. But they did say, we'll give you this form, go to see your own doctor when you get home. I said, yes, okay. And I never did, because, I just recovered, And what it was I hadn't eaten enough, I hadn't drunk enough. So really that was a lesson to be learnt, that, you're out for the whole day, you must eat and drink on a regular basis. Even if it's small amounts, just keep eating. So, when I'm walking, I forget about eating and I just keep going. And also, I'm constantly watching the time when I'm walking, because I've got an idea about what time I want to finish. So I'm constantly looking at the map. I'm trying to plan walking towards somebody, somewhere, a place where I might find a bed. And it's strange that even after hours and miles of walking, I still have the energy to give it an extra boost, because I can see time's passing by and I really need to find a bed. So I up my speed, I up the pace. You would think walking a long way, you would get slower and slower and slower. Well, you do a little bit in the middle of a long walk, say, about lunchtime when you've walked for the morning, and then you get into the afternoon. And then you've got this time that you've got to keep watching, because I didn't book anywhere overnight stays, only for one walk, but all the rest I didn't book anywhere. So it was just a matter of, get a move on. Come on, you've got to get there. You've got to get to a town. You've got to get to a village. So what I do is in that situation is clear my head, everything about the walk. Forget about the pain. Forget about the aching legs. Forget about the sore feet. Forget about the aching shoulders because of the rucksack pulling down. And just think about every step and put one foot in front of the other. And I go off in a little daydream, I look back into my memory box and I can pick up things from years ago, my experiences from like a long time ago and people that I have known in the past and think about them and think about what are they doing now. And one thing leads to another, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I remember that. But then it takes your mind off your walking. So now I'm able to walk even faster. But cheers. Right, I think I've read through my notes, and that's about it. I'm going to say bye-bye for now. And if I think of any more stories, I'll let you know. But yes, what the message I want to put out there is, if you want to do something, you will do it. If you really, really want to do it. When I first started these long walks, I just didn't know whether I could do it or not. But then I think, well, you only find out if you try. It's like the lorry driving. I thought, I don't know if I could drive a big articulated lorry, but I'm going to have a damn good try at it. So I mean, you're only limited, the only limitations you have got are what you put on yourself, because basically there are no limits. This is what I say to people. If you want to do something but then find reasons why you can't do it, well, you maybe haven't wanted to do it then. If you're going to stay where you are, doing what you are always doing, what you do every day, what you do every week, every year, well, that's fine. You carry on like that, but I just tend to think that, as I said, the only limitations they are the ones you put on your own limitations. So go for it. I've just been reading a blog about two friends of mine up in the borough, cyclists. They cycle everywhere and they're about the same age as me. Two of them camping miles. They go on all over Europe, but they do it because it's what they want to do. So, well done, Brenda, I say. Anyway, I'm going now because I don't want to make this too long and I want to go shopping. Bye for now. Toodle pip.